How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for taking the time to do this interview. I know it's so random, but
What's
it will help. So I'm doing a market research class, and pretty much our project is to learn more about a certain industry, kind of deep dive on people's thoughts, and ours is looking at the retail industry. So it will probably be like 35 minutes, maybe under that. But essentially, I'll ask you very general questions, and then just expand as you feel you need to, and anything you want to add or anything you think that's important that maybe I've missed, add into your comments as well. But before I start, do you have any other questions or anything you want to say?
Ready to go.
Okay, I will say that I'm going to record this conversation just because I don't know if I'm going to be able to type quick enough to capture everything you say. But there's nothing too personal that I'll be asking, so I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not too worried.
Okay, perfect. All right, so first question. I'm just going to open up my notes here. Okay, so my first question is, sorry, my computer just froze. There we go. When you're shopping in general, doesn't matter what you're shopping for, where do you most likely go, and what, kind of pops in your mind first when you think about going shopping?
So to be honest, the main thing that I think about right away is actually the weather.
Okay.
So generally, if it's cold out, like, I'm going to go to a mall.
Okay.
And then if it's warmer, I'll go to Queen Street or something like that.
Right.
So that is definitely, the first thing I would think about.
Interesting. And then, depending on, let's start with mall maybe first, what do you focus on purchasing if you go to a mall? And then we'll go to, if you're going to Queen Street, or more of like an outdoor shopping experience.
So, usually it's like performance-oriented stuff.
Okay.
So like sportswear, shoes, because, most stuff you can buy online. And like I'm like a very, very, very basic shopper.
Okay.
So like, I sort of have like a couple subsets of stores I'll go to.
Okay.
But it's usually like, what the hell is that place called? So I'll go to Uniqlo, then I'll go to, like, I run a lot.
Okay.
So I'll go to, like, Nike store or running type store. And then I will usually end up going to Nordstrom's.
Okay.
Or like a Saks if I need to sort of find anything else. But it's generally for things that I need to try on before I buy them. So sort of like shoes or, anything like that. So,
and if it's not something that you need to try on, what type of item would that be?
So, like, electronics, for example.
Oh, I see.
Like anything like that, socks, like whatever. Like I find those are much more like bulk sort of items. Like you can just order them online and have them shipped.
Okay.
Because they're not going to change anywhere you go. Like,
right.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. And in terms of shopping, that's like, would you say that's more what you go to a mall for versus why would you go to Queen Street, or same reasons for going shopping? It's just weather dependent on where you choose to go.
So I find Queen Street's more like you're just going to get a little bit more boutique type stuff, but
right.
Again, the types of products I get don't really change as much. It's just that I'll go to like Reigning Champ, I'll go to like Asics just opened a store on Queen. I'll go to like specific sort of stores like that. Adidas, whatever, and then I'll just, check out what they've got.
Okay.
And there's also like, there'll be like, it's just more boutique-y. That's generally, but I mean, it is pretty important. Like, weather is just so important, right?
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to be
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to be freezing going door to door.
Right.
So in terms of the actual, when you're going shopping, what features appeal to you most? Like, what are you looking for when you're shopping, and not for the bulk items like electronics or socks, but more the shoes or t-shirts or sweaters, that type of thing?
The features?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, I honestly, like, I'm really about comfort.
Okay.
And, like, being well made.
What do you expand on that?
Yeah, sure. So, like, literally, that's why I like Patagonia so much.
Okay.
Reigning Champ, Lululemon, higher quality product, very, very comfortable, and it's just durable. Like, I do a lot, I'm moving around a lot. I don't want anything that's going to fall apart in, like, a week.
Right.
So I'll generally spend more, but just for, and like shoes is a perfect example. Like, I'll buy like New Balance, I'll buy Asics. I buy stuff more, it will cost more.
Yep.
But it's, I mean, you're on your feet all the time, so you might as well get the right product.
So you'll spend
so
more.
Definitely practicality.
Okay. So if you were to finish the sentence, you'll spend more for practicality or quality or...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, Lululemon's got some of the best, like, long sleeve, but, like, thinner fabric stuff. And I can't remember what it's called, their fabric.
Like the Luon or something?
But Luon, that's it. And then, like, Reigning Champ, they got some pretty cool stuff. But at the same time, there was a line that I sort of draw. Like, I see some of these, like, these new companies that are trying to be like, yeah, try on our, really trendy-looking athletic wear, and, a sweater is $500. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's so stupid.
So there's, like, a price elasticity on how much you're willing to pay for that
Oh,
product.
100%. 100%. And, the other thing, too, is, like, and I'm sure we're going to probably go into this anyways, but Patagonia,
Yeah.
they have a lifetime warranty. Anything I do to my clothes, they fix it.
Right. And do you take advantage of that?
Pardon?
Do you take advantage of that?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Like, if anything rips or tears or frays, they fix it, and they're, like, really good about it.
Oh.
Like, I've gone in with, like, holes in jackets and, like they have, like, I have, like, a 3-in-1 or whatever.
Okay.
And it's got, like, a down-filled, like, jacket in the middle of it.
Okay.
A hole got punctured in it. They, like, take it, they patch it up, and they're like, if we can't patch this, we'll literally just give you a new jacket.
Wow.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And so, is it mostly because you've had it for so long that it rips, or the quality just wasn't that great? Or they'll replace it no matter what the issue, like no matter what.
They honestly don't care.
Okay.
Like, from what I read, and I don't know what the deal is anymore, because sometimes companies change,
right.
But I do know that Patagonia was one of the first companies to, like, come out with these, like, extremely big warranties that were, like, counterintuitive to the industry, but people seem to appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah, we will dig a little deeper into that after. I don't want to go too narrow yet, so...
Yeah.
The next one you already actually answered for me was how durability and quality affects your purchase decision, but obviously there's you'll spend more. Will you change, like, if a store that you often go to, say Reigning Champ, their quality changes, will you change the store you're shopping at? Like, will you stop going there, or do you like this style
so, like,
so
if they
much?
started cheaping out on their product?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%. They will get, like, literally, I'll just be like, no.
Okay.
It won't even.
And do you check, when you're shopping, do you check where the product is made or how it's made or what fabrics it's made of? Does that ever matter to you?
It's interesting because, I mean, I do look just out of habit.
Right.
And, you know, obviously if you see it's made in China, you're like, this is cheaper.
Right.
But I also, like, I don't know, I'm a bit of a peculiar person, so when I try things on or go to stores,
Yeah.
I will literally feel the fabric right away, and I basically, like, have in my mind, like, an airplane test,
Right.
which I'm literally not kidding, where I literally put on a shirt, and I imagine if I'm sitting in an airplane, if I'll be comfortable in it,
Right.
and if I am comfortable, like, if it does work for me, then I'll buy it.
Okay, so there's
So
like,
it's, like, textural to me. Like, labels, whatever.
okay. So it's like you want to know what it's made of and where it's made and all those details, but it's not going to affect whether or not you'll purchase it.
Yeah, like, I mean, if it's like you know, I mean, there's definitely some fabric where you're like, oh, I don't know, and then you'll, like, look at the tag,
Right.
and you'll see that, you know, like, okay, it's made in China, and you, like, look at the ingredients or, you know, what it's made of, and you're like, this is kind of shitty.
Right.
So, yeah, no.
Okay.
Accurate.
That's helpful. So a little bit more on the supply chain side of manufacturing and what your knowledge is for the supply chain of garments. It can be high level. If you know details, just share, kind of brainstorm what you know.
I honestly know very little.
Yep, that's fine.
Of how it works. I honestly, like, we were talking about food or beverage, I can tell you everything, but
Right.
this stuff, yeah.
Okay.
No idea.
No worries. And in terms of changes on the supply chain, so say they're changing from buying from China to buying from Bangladesh or buying from the US instead, does any of that impact your feelings towards that product or if you want to buy it? Like, I know you said a little bit with the whole, like, if you see it's made in China, then it's probably not made with the quality you might want, but is there certain places that you feel more comfortable buying from?
Sadly, I think it's pretty much all nonsense. Like, I don't know what certification there is actually out there which will tell you this was made, you know, in, like, a conscientious way or whatever. Like, from what I understand, so many of these companies
Yeah.
are shipping stuff from different, like, Bangladesh. You know, like, I saw the Zara thing where they were, like, sewing the help things into the labels or whatever.
Right.
But, like, you know what I mean? Like, I never know. Like, where that sort of becomes a thing is if I'm buying, like, a suit.
Okay.
Like, if I'm going and buying, like, a $300 dress shirt for, like, a tuxedo or something, it better be of, like, very good quality. But, you know, for this general stuff, like, I have no idea where Lululemon makes their stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't know. And, like, I'm sure it's probably made in China. Like,
Right.
I don't know.
I guess at this point, too, because you've purchased for them for a while, you know that the quality is there and that the quality and the comfort's what you're shopping for anyway. Okay, so you talked a little bit previously about Patagonia and how they'll replace or fix anything that has an issue. What are, kind of on that line of fixing and reusing, what are your thoughts towards buying secondhand for yourself? And if you do it, why not?
So I've certainly never done that, except if it's for, like, an ugly sweater thing or whatever.
Right.
You know, like Halloween, whatever. I'll buy used stuff as, like, a gimmick, but I've never done it. I don't know if there's any reason why I don't. It's more the stores that I go to would never have that available.
Okay.
And I also, like, have a thing with, like, germs. I just don't know if it's, like, been washed
Right.
Yeah, that would creep me out a little bit.
What if the
one
story...
thing I also...
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go.
What were you going to say?
Tell
I was going
you
to say
explain
one
first.
thing that also... Go ahead.
No, one thing, you finish, and then I'll go.
I was just going to say another thing that I find very interesting with clothing stores, like you were talking about ones to choose.
Yeah.
So I went into Kitten Ace a while ago.
Okay.
And they're supposed to have like this like blended, I don't know, whatever the hell it is. But I went in and there were literally two women working in there.
Yeah.
One was on her computer and the other one was on her phone. And literally didn't say anything to me.
Right.
Like weren't helpful, nothing. Like literally such a shitty store experience that like I will literally never go to that store, that brand period, because of it.
Huh.
Like it was like a very like specific thing, and I've heard they have like higher quality stuff, but like customer service is just so crucial, especially if it's your own brand.
Right.
So like that, like also like really like that.
And it's stuck in your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. If you said that part of the reason that you wouldn't buy the secondhand clothes is the stores that you go to would never have that available. What if they did? What if it was a store that you already trust and you already shop with them a lot? Would you feel more comfortable knowing that it's a trusted brand? Or is the germs thing...
Has it been washed?
It's been washed. It's completely almost brand new, except maybe, it's been worn a few times, but they washed it. It goes through the process. It's almost, it's touched as many hands as it has when it gets made in China, boxed, and sent here.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
Whatever. That's fine.
Okay.
Better for the planet, I'm sure.
Right. And for the stores, I mean, I guess we don't really know, but the stores that typically carry secondhand, what's your thought on the process of how it gets there? Like, do you think that they wash it before they put it on the shelves, or, do you not go there because of why isn't that a store that you would often choose other than Christmas?
Well, I mean, generally, like, if I'm getting rid of clothes, I'll take them to, like, Value Village or one of those, like, bins.
Yeah.
And, like, I have no idea if they clean them. I would be shocked if they did because of the expenses involved in that.
Right.
But, like, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with secondhand stores. It's just the overall atmosphere to me is you're going to get usually, like, a very old, musty sort of smell.
Yeah.
And it smells like old people, like, literally, and, that's...
So there's an experience that maybe isn't enjoyable.
Yeah. No, it's very... Not at all. And the stores don't look nice, obviously.
Yeah.
They're always weird. So, yeah.
And you bring your used or ruined clothes to, like, the bins or the secondhand shops, but how often will you throw out a piece of clothing, and why?
Oh, I don't. I honestly don't I don't throw out clothing. I just give it, either away. Like, I have tons of stuff I've never even worn.
Right.
So I'll either give it away, or I will just take it to secondhand, but definitely not garbage unless it's like old socks or something. That just would be gross to give to anyone.
Right. And other than, an item that's been sitting in your closet and you're just not wearing it, why else would you be giving clothing away?
That really is, like, the main thing. I honestly, like, I'm not joking, I buy the same thing over and over again.
Right.
There are, like, literally, I wear, like, black t-shirts, white t-shirts, a few dress shirts, but they're usually, like, Oxford white, blue, or gray,
Right.
and jeans. Like, I don't... It's like suits or, like, basically the same thing every day.
So adventurous.
Oh, I know. My wife loves it, let me tell you.
She gets to wear the
She'll buy
color.
me something. She'll literally buy me something, and she'll be like, "Are you going to wear this?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." No, not a chance.
Well, then the secondhand shop, someone will enjoy it.
That's true. But I also like, so I'm sort of like Andrew in this, although I don't know if he still does it, but I like cardigans as well.
Oh my god,
And
you're right.
so
He always
I
wears
buy like
cardigans.
Pardon?
I said I forgot that he wears a lot of cardigans.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen him in forever.
Pardon?
I haven't seen him in forever. I forgot.
Yeah. Well, he's doing well. But, so I have, like, rag and bone cardigans, and they're very comfortable. So I just buy them in every color, or I'll buy multiples of the same color.
Okay, so just simple closet, and if something has been worn multiple times, then maybe you'll, like, if it's really old, you'll donate it, but otherwise it's the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we'll dive a little bit, we're diving into Patagonia.
Okay.
What is just, basic, what's your knowledge of Patagonia, their purpose, their mission, their values, them as a apparel store? Just share anything you know.
They're sort of like, from what I know or understand, they're like a very sort of like grassroots type company.
Okay.
Environmentally conscious. They try to be, sustainable with what they do. I mean, I wouldn't call them hippies.
Okay.
As much as more like, they're just like, when I think of kids I don't know if you know, like here in Ontario, like canoeing, like camping kids, like real outdoorsy types, they love Patagonia.
Right. Okay. I know what you mean. The Tripper.
Yeah.
The Tripper kids.
Exactly. Tripper kids. Always the Patagonia sweater.
And in terms of being environmentally conscious and trying to be sustainable, are there examples that you have of why that's an image that you have in your head of them? And do you think that they're successfully being environmentally conscious and successfully sustainable?
So I actually have very little idea of whether they are successful with what they do.
Okay.
I would assume if they were a massive sham, I'd probably know about it at this point, because it would be in the media. Like generally, if you don't hear any news, you just assume
it's good,
more accurate.
Right.
Basically, one of the things that actually struck me as the most interesting was, I don't know if you know this, but there's like an oil pipeline which flows. It's sort of like actually right around my office, like around Finch and Dufferin.
Okay.
Like a massive refinery there. And they had someone in their store physically talking about it with me.
Okay.
And they're like, listen, like, it's actually, like, quite dangerous. Like, it's impactful on the environment. And, like, but it's, like, an actual, like, refinery there. And I was like, holy shit, like, that's so close to my office. And I, like, know what she's talking about.
Right.
But never really thought about it. So now I always think about that in Patagonia. So environmental activism and Patagonia, they've, like, merged together.
Interesting. So how was it when you were there that you started talking about this?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they had literally had someone being like, opposing, I think it was the pipeline, but they had someone literally in Patagonia who was separate from Patagonia speaking about it.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool, right?
Yeah, good for them. And so that's a little bit of, their purpose and their mission, but in terms of their product and quality, what are your thoughts towards that?
Their product is great.
Yeah.
I have like a ton of stuff from them. I've never had any issues. Like, it's very rare for me to say that. Like, usually, like, it gets beaten up, whatever. Like, I found actually, like, Canada Goose was decent with that as well. But they, like, their belief that, you know, if there's something wrong with it, we'll fix it. Yeah. And it's been proven, because it's happened to me, like, 3 times.
Right.
They didn't care when it was from. It didn't matter. They just fixed it.
Okay. And why, if you could put into a sentence, why do you choose Patagonia?
It's really for that. Like, I mean,
okay.
Reliability, quality of product, and they're giving me a warranty that I know I don't have to worry about it. So it's peace of mind.
Yeah, that warranty's amazing.
Oh, it's so smart.
Okay, the next one you already kind of answered for me. And in terms of any of their campaigns, do you know, other than have the environmental activism, but any bigger campaigns that you know of?
No. I would be curious, though, to know if they do anything with, like, Goose Down or anything like that, but no, I don't really know of any in particular.
So you do, like, you know a bit about Patagonia from, like, what we've talked about, and I'm just curious what brought you into the store initially. I mean, because not knowing any of their campaigns and not, you know, there's been no, like, something screaming at you to be like, this is what Patagonia is, but it seems like you align to a lot of their values. So what got you interested in them in the first place?
If
you remember.
I honestly, so I would really say that is, like, just like a visual thing.
Okay.
Like, they're pretty good on putting their logos on different parts, but also, like, you see very specific people wearing Patagonia, and usually those are very, like, functional people. Like, they really, it's sort of, like, hard to explain, but it's usually, like, the people I see wearing it are sort of aligned with my values or the way I sort of am. So, you know, whether it's, like, you know, remember, like, I go to, like, health food expos and all sorts of other stuff. Like, you're very likely to see people at these things wearing Patagonia.
So it's almost a community that you get to be a part of by wearing their product.
Yep, I'd say that's accurate. And also, like, what are they called? I can't remember. But, like, they're sort of like ambassadors. Like, people I know who, like, really study, you know, quality of fabric, fashion, and stuff like that. They also wear Patagonia.
Right.
So it's like a very specific type of person I know will influence me. I guess influencer. Will influence me in what I buy.
Yeah, so someone who's more of an expert in that and saying this is a good product.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
So over the last, 2 years or so, how do you, this doesn't have to be specific to Patagonia, just more in general, but how do you see fashion, how fashion has changed? Or do you think it's changed in the last 2 years? Fashion?
So, I don't know. I mean, I remember when, like, skinny jeans came in. That's still pretty, like, prevalent, though.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think, honestly, the most, like, remarkable changes in fashion I've seen have been, like, from, like, thugs, like, rappers.
Yeah.
Who used to wear, like, seriously, because, like, when I went to high school, like, all kids wore, like, Rockaware and, like, all this other crap.
Right.
And then, and, like, literally, like, it was, like, those were, like, the real, like, you know, that's what the kids were trying to be cool or whatever, and now you see rappers, and they dress more and more in, like, skinny jeans or athletic wear or whatever, so it's been more of, like, and again, I know very little about fashion, but it's almost like, I guess, like, mods in the, like, 60s, so, like, skinnier stuff, but also more to, like, an athletic presence.
Okay. So athletic wear, skinny, like, more fitted apparel.
Yeah, except for those stupid pillowcase t-shirts kids wear.
I don't even know what those are, but I'll write pillowcase and look it up after.
No, like literally, you know kids who wear these like really big baggy t-shirts and really skinny jeans?
Yeah, oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it like literally looks like they're wearing a pillowcase with just like little arms.
That's hilarious. I like that term a lot. I hope I can fit that into my report somewhere.
So do I.
Okay, have you heard of the term fast fashion?
No.
Okay, so basically fast fashion, it's kind of what the fashion industry has moved towards, and it's an approach to designing the creation, marketing, everything encompassing creating clothing that emphasizes fashion trends that are like very quickly and cheaply available to consumers. So instead of having seasonality, you'll have a new line of product out every week. And fast fashion has become associated with disposable fashion because it's delivering product to the mass market at pretty low prices. Knowing...
Is that like Forever 21 or whatever?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Knowing that, what are your viewpoints on how that might be positive or negative to, like, the planet, to you, to, you know, anything? How does that affect us?
Oh, it's definitely bad for the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the product is like shit quality. From like, I mean, my wife goes there, all of her friends go there, and like it seems like their mindset is very consistent. Where it is, you know, you buy really nice purses, jackets, shoes, but everything else, like it just doesn't matter. So they'll go there and spend like $100 and have like get 2 outfits or whatever, and as long as they're accessorized properly, they don't care. And then they wear it for like, you know, X amount of times, and I don't even know what happens to it, to be honest.
Okay.
It just like disappears. I mean, I'm sure it's getting, maybe it's getting, I don't know where it goes, but yeah, like I feel like that really cheap quality stuff like definitely hurts the clothing or retail industry in general.
Okay.
And is going to create a lot of job loss. And I'm sure also props up companies like Amazon.
Right.
And obviously a ton of it ends up in landfills, which is just shit.
Yeah, huge quantities in landfills. It's really sad.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very sad. Okay, so overall, do you feel that Patagonia is properly delivering their brand message and company purpose? Knowing what you know about them, do you feel like they are sufficiently communicating with you and getting you to understand who they are?
Yes. From what I know,
yeah.
And that is really just reliability of product and service.
Okay.
And, you know, I draw my own conclusions on the environmental stuff.
Okay.
Now, do you shop at Forever 21?
Me? No. I'm like you. I either have all hand-me-downs or I'll spend a little bit more and make sure it lasts a lot longer. Like, I have shirts that I wore in grade 8 still in my closet. And
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it makes it much easier. Mitchell's the same way. He has like 4 pants and 3 tops, I think.
Yeah, no, it's the best.
Yeah.
And like, that's the weird one though, is Uniqlo.
Right.
Because their product is actually quite durable in comparison to like other really cheap companies.
Yeah.
It's usually quite on the mark with fashion, but like, you know, H&M stuff I find is like not very great.
Right.
But like I can wear Uniqlo jeans that are like $40, and they are like real jeans. Like they don't fall apart.
So Mitchell and my other brother are obsessed with Uniqlo. I haven't jumped on the bandwagon yet, but I guess I should go check it out and see what it's all about.
Because it's functional stuff too, so you really should look. It's quite interesting.
I'm curious about their structure too, like if it's just a factory that has opened up a store and kind of exploded, or if there still is like Uniqlo is a company and they still source from a factory? Because it almost seems like it's one factory that's making all of it, from what I understand. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're Japanese.
right.
So, I mean, you know, they're going to be as efficient as humanly possible.
Right. Yeah, that is the nature of them.
Of course.
Okay, last...
I don't know, put that in your report, Kelly.
No, I know. I'll chop that part of the recording. For my last two questions. So, what would make you keep your Patagonia clothing longer, even though I know that you get everything fixed, but if you're still buying stuff from there and you're still shopping, so if you do get rid of something, is there something that they can do to encourage you to keep that item for a longer period of time?
No, they literally are the only company that actually, I don't really have to worry about it.
Okay.
So, you know, I mean, it's great. Like, I mean, if I bring in a really beaten down jacket, they'll, like, literally just give me another one.
I need to go buy Patagonia clothing now. I only have, like, one piece.
It's ridiculous how good they are.
Okay.
They'll be like, oh, you know, this is kind of, you're doing whatever, but they don't. At the end of the day, they're going to help you out.
I mean, that's probably why they've built such an incredible brand and, like, this whole community around them.
Yeah, they're extremely smart.
Yeah. Okay, that is actually all of my questions, so we're done. If you have any other questions that you want to ask me or anything you want to follow up on?
No, I just wanted to hear about the Forever 21 thing.
No, Forever 21.
Now I'm gonna go yell at my wife now about killing the environment.
Yeah, there's a stat that I just had. I think it's like 30 trillion tons of waste from the fashion environment, and it's the second biggest pollutant to the earth